Hi everyone, I'm Karen Fisher,
And I'm Leanne.
and welcome to Ignite and Flourish podcast.
We're so excited to bring you these amazing topics. And of course, today we're going to be chatting about sexual wellness and breaking that stigma around intimacy. And give us your view, Karen, like what about intimacy, how you grew up? Was it something that was discussed openly or?
Okay, so for me, it was a really taboo thing. You don't chat about it. It is something that is between, of course, the husband and wife. It's in the bedroom, closed doors. You don't hear about it.
Okay.
And the only sexual education basically that you did get was the birds and the bees, which is the technicalities. What happens when this happens and what it leads to, which is a baby. And yeah, nothing was really spoken about. And I know that this is obviously something that we believe God has made, but it's just
It's a taboo subject.
it's a taboo subject.
You don't bring it up. You don't. And like with friends, did you really speak about it? Not as well.
And when it came up with friends, it would be more of it wouldn't be something that is out of love. It would be something that is very experimental.
Okay.
Which is natural when it comes to young adults. But it wouldn't be like, how do you get the most out of it, or how do you do it in a safe space? That connection or communication. It's nothing about that. It's just about the physicality of it. And yeah,
what have you done? What have you done?
What have you done? And it almost turns it into this dirty subject.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Okay. So with me, it was also going through divorce, learning about intimacy and how important it is in a relationship, but also not growing up with it. Like with the education system or in my home life, my parents didn't speak about it. We wouldn't know what's going on. So yeah, birds and bees story, that time of the month, that sort of story. But never about how important intimacy is in a relationship. So I definitely wanted to research more, and that's why I started the intimacy journey. And for me, I think we should be speaking about it openly. It should be a subject that we can speak to our friends about, our parents, our partners, most importantly, but also start off, and I love to always say this at our workshops and discussions, start off with yourself. If you're single, that's fine, because that's where it should start. Educating yourself on pleasure and intimacy and what's it all about and how does my body feel and what feels good in my body. Because also when you know what feels good and how you want to be pleased and so forth, you can then, when you have a partner, show and explain to them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And actually, one of my friends, I'm going to be a bit vulnerable now. I won't mention any names.
No, we'll never mention names. Don't worry.
Never mention names. But she was just chatting to me openly about she is almost 30 years old, and she thought that the vagina ended where you can see down.
Oh, you see.
So and then she took a hand mirror and was like, okay, there's actually more. There's actually more to this. There's more to it. And it was not explained to her. She didn't know what to do. It's more of you need to figure this out on your own, basically.
And that's the problem, because we don't know. So and next time I'll bring my little structure of the clitoris and stuff, and we can really go into it. But there's so much more to it. So for instance, when I speak about orgasms, most ladies don't know out there you can have 12 different types of orgasms.
Wow.
So, and we'll that's going to be another discussion and podcast for another time. But there's so much to intimacy and sexual wellness that we actually are unaware of. And that's why I wanted to know more and I wanted to teach more, because women are not being able to be open about it. So they think in the bedroom it's all about their male partner, if you've got a male partner. But meantime, it's the pleasure with both of you, or self-love, self-care as a single woman as well. And there's so much to discover once you actually go down that rabbit hole. It's like, wow. Like the orgasms, the G-spots, what your body can actually do for you.
Absolutely. And I feel one of the most important things, like you say, that's self-discovery. Because we shouldn't just put our pleasure or our we should know what our anatomy is. We shouldn't just put that pleasure into somebody else's hands.
I love that.
Yes, and we need to be able to communicate openly with our partner. This is what we would like. This is what that doesn't really feel good, or
And I get so many clients out there that say to me, oh, but Leanne, I just lay there until it's done. Or I would actually read a book while he's busy.
Wow.
And then I'm like,
no,
really? And then I'm like, but why? And they're like, well, you know, for instance, they either have low libido, so they're not feeling it. They're not like feeling especially after having kids, breastfeeding, if they're on any medications and so on, your libido takes a dive, your estrogen levels. So what happens is they're not in the mood. They don't feel excited anymore in the bedroom. You know, in the beginning, I always say it's lots of butterflies and excitement and that energy. And then afterwards, I always make a joke and say those butterflies turn into moths. They just sit there. They don't even move anymore. So you need to keep that excitement going. And it's all about knowing your pleasure, knowing your body, and explaining it to your partner, having fun again, reconnecting, reigniting that flame. And that's what the Ignite Intimacy is all about, is reconnection with yourself and with your partner.
Yes, that is so important. And as a Christian girl, we have to start obviously taking the pill if that's what you choose, or whatever the choice was. But for a lot of me and my friends, we started taking the pill. And then before then, obviously you abstaining until your marriage day, your married day, and you wanting, maybe you're making out or whatever, anything besides having sex, and that passion is there.
Yes.
But when you start taking that pill and then you get married, and then all of a sudden that's because of the hormones, that's the thing we didn't understand. Because of the hormones in the pill, it's playing, we don't ovulate anymore. So our natural hormonal, when you're ovulating, you more weak, or you have more desire, or that sort of thing for your partner. You have that, you wanting him more. We don't ovulate anymore because of the pill. And now it's just that arousal and the desire is gone. And then our new husband can't understand it. And we can put all the ums and ahs on,
problem.
But then you don't get that natural lubrication that you need.
And when you don't, also your partner kind of questions, like, why are you not getting aroused for me? Like, what's going on? Are you getting it? And this is the things that people speak to me about. They're like, my partner thinks I'm getting it somewhere else. And I'm actually just too tired to even look somewhere else. So why would he think that? Or why would she think that? Or, and it becomes such a crazy way out there of thinking, because we've been almost indoctrinated with, this is the way it should be, or this is, and everybody's different. Every relationship will be different. Your bodies are different. And as you age, and this is what I speak about always, is your bodies will end up not producing so much, estrogen anymore, or with menopause is vaginal dryness. And you need to communicate that with your partner so that they're also aware that you might need some extra lubrication. You might need a libido enhancement. And talk about it openly, because there is no shame in it. And also from the men's side, erectile dysfunction is a thing. And they feel ashamed, like if they ejaculate too quickly or they can't get it up anymore. And it should never be about, being too scared to speak about it.
And are there ways or products that they can use, maybe for vaginal dryness or erection dysfunction?
Yes, we've got so much out there from Ignite Intimacy, and I'll share everything with you guys in the comments. But we've got an online store, and we actually come out and empower you with the knowledge. That's what we love doing, is at workshops, at parties, whether it be just a ladies' party where you want to get together and just like, I want to know more about my body. And it's never too late either. I've got 40, 50, 60-year-olds
that's amazing,
that message me that say, I've never had an orgasm, but I want to. It's never too late. I want to do this.
And there's nothing shameful about it.
Never.
Yes. And I love that word, empower. We need to take that power back and say, you know what?
Yes.
We're going to put this into our hands, put the pleasure into our hands,
definitely.
That connection, that intimacy, and it will just enhance your relationship so much with your partner.
It will. And that's the thing. Just have that communication, that open communication, to be able to speak about things. And we give great tips. And as we'll do more podcasts about this. But I just wanted to say, you have to open up. It's never too late, and break that stigma of you can't talk about sex and you can't talk about intimacy. It's such an important aspect of every relationship, whether it's the relationship with yourself or with your partner.
Yes. And I also feel that with You know, some things can be so dirty on the internet. And people will take this and say, you know what? Why are you guys talking about it openly? And that's okay. If you need a Leanne does consultations.
Yes, yes. One-on-one consultations,
One-on-one,
couples consultations, because we need to know more. Because there's questions that need to be answered, and maybe you shy to ask the questions, but you can in the comments, and we can do a topic podcast about whatever you want to know. But also in the private space and safe, brave space, you can have a couples consultation or just a one-on-one with me or any of our consultants. It's really okay.
I think that's so important, because if you just have that one-on-one with your partner, you're sitting down, sometimes you don't even know where to begin. Like, what do you start saying?
That's it.
Why am I dry? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then this is accusatory, like, are you with somebody else? Like,
yes, well, where are you getting it from? Why aren't you in the mood anymore?
Yes.
You know, so it's important to also, like we were saying, empower you with the knowledge that, okay, I've actually read this, I'm breastfeeding, or I've just had kids, so my low libido drops. And tell your partner and read it together. Read the article together and say, okay, babe, this is what's happening in my life. This is what's happening to my body. I want you to understand, so you know where I'm coming from when I don't feel like it. But I want to feel like it, so let's get some stuff and let's get some goodies, and you know.
Yeah, and the love is still there and the respect is still there, but we need to be, and I feel that the maturity plays a big part in it. Big
part, because that's the other thing, that you get your back up with the person, because like, oh, why is she not connecting with me anymore? Why doesn't she want me? Why, you know, you ask yourself all these questions, but we don't communicate and ask each other. And just be like open, say, baby, if lately you haven't really been so into me. Is it something I've done? Is it what's going on? If you just open up more to your partner, you'll see there'll be that communication flow, and it's just going to be easier.
It's going to be, and I feel like also let's put all the distractions off and have that
very important.
Set aside some time. Say, let's put the phones away, let's switch the TV off, let's have this discussion, because I always say this, sometimes it's better, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to hear where the person is coming from? Or do you just want to be like, I want to get my points across?
Yes.
And we should approach it like on neutral Switzerland territory.
Ground. I always say never in the bedroom or even in your house. Go for coffee. A coffee date outside of the household, so that it's not a feeling of, this is my space or anything like that. So neutral ground, like you say.
Neutral Switzerland territory.
Ground. I always say never in the bedroom or even in your house. Go for coffee. A coffee date outside of the household, so that it's not a feeling of, this is my space or anything like that. So neutral ground, like you say. And I always say timing is very important. So make sure that your partner is not stressed out when you're about to have this conversation. Make sure you got no hanger issues. You're not hungry and angry at the same time and all that. And also make sure that you give yourself enough time as well to discuss the issue, not rushing somewhere or, that sort of thing.
That's so important. And I also feel with myself and my partner, we have this rule, we don't raise our voices to each other. I don't want to demean anybody. I don't want to make them feel like a child or accusatory, you. I would rather say, this is the way I'm feeling.
Yes.
Not you make me feel this way or something like that. Yes,
because it's attack mode. And everybody gets their back up in attack mode. And I always say to them also, come from a space where you're saying, and I give this advice to a lot of couples, I say, come from a space where you're saying, babe, I love it when you do this. But you know what, I was listening to this talk, and if we introduce this into the bedroom, it's going to add to our enhancement. It's going to be so magical and fun and exciting again, like the beginning. When it was in the beginning, we were so excited to go on date night, and that's how you bring it in. You never say, oh, you don't do this right, and now I have to get a product to help us. You have to do it in the right way. So your tone is very important as well.
That's what I wanted to ask you as well, with the introducing new toys into the bedroom.
Yes.
So I would imagine that men would feel like, am I not enough for you?
Exactly.
Am I inadequate?
Yes. So they do get their backup. If you've got a male partner and you're introducing a toy, and we'll bring some toys on next time to show you in that.
Nice.
Yes. But you have to do it in a way, again, that it doesn't feel like they are being, demasculated, that, you're coming and taking their space and their, something bigger than them. So don't ever come home with something bigger. Okay. I would give some advice there. And also make sure always, and I always explain it like this. And I say to my clients, the couples out there, you know what, if you're going, like sometimes you want to go have a burger, it's at Spur. And sometimes you love that, just original burger at Spur. But sometimes you want to add some caramelized onions, a slice of lettuce, some cheese, and and that's how a relationship must be. Yes, we love the original, but sometimes you need to add an enhancer, a little toy, a little something, and that's how you're going to explain it to your partner. You're amazing. I love it.
Yes.
But I think it's time just to add some spice and enhancement. And then you bring like a wand, like something that you can massage each other with, bringing back that touch. Because I feel like we get out of touch as a couple, but you also get out of touch where you don't touch anymore. I don't know if you've noticed, couples don't touch anymore. I watch sometimes and I see like, just that slight, would you like something to drink? Or can I help you with, whatever it is. But also in the bedroom, massage is so important because it gets you connected and touching again as a couple.
I feel, and I feel like with the chatting and with the touching, just a kiss or a hug or something.
It just adds that little bit of comfort knowing, okay, me and my partner are okay, and we're feeling good, and that touch is an important aspect of that. So when you're in the bedroom and you want to bring something in, always be open about it and explain why. You're not going to just bring a toy or anything into the bedroom without explaining and what it does and how it's going to help you as a couple, and embrace that. And make sure that you start off with something easy enough, like a wand for massaging that vibrates so it can go everywhere else as well. But like a really fun aspect, start with the date nights. We've got amazing date night couple ideas and games. Games is such a nice way to start it off with. Break that ice. And it also gets you, what I love about our games is it gets you connected and asking questions you wouldn't really ask in the bedroom. So maybe your desires or fantasies or whatever, but you're asking it in a game format where you kind of like, oh, you really like to go into some 50 Shades of Grey, or you really like to practice something else, something different, or, it just gives you that edge, like, oh, okay, let's start with that. Let's create some fun aspect to our relationship again.
Yes, and I feel like it's also a safe space. Because sometimes you're not going to just go and say, listen, babe, I want to try this, this, and this. And that's completely out of left field.
And then they're like, oh, why do they want that?
Yes. And I also feel like men think, or even women think, that the penetration is enough or will lead to an orgasm, which it does in some cases. But other things are needed. With women, foreplay is very, very important.
I say foreplay is the most important F word out there, because you don't know, and most not even women know this, but we need at least 15 to 20 minutes of foreplay for women to get their bodies ready for intercourse.
Wow.
So if it's not ready, it's almost like called the tenting process. So if your body's not ready and open up like a tent down there, your vaginal walls and that, you actually have dry intercourse, it's sore, it's uncomfortable. So the foreplay allows the tenting process to open so that you are comfortable down there. And people always say, but foreplay, it sounds so, it can be anything from the games I'm speaking about, a wand, a massage, that eye connection, that communication, that texting each other saying, oh, I'm on my way home, what are you wearing? That sort of thing. That's all part of foreplay.
And I feel like even cooking together in the kitchen and giving a little bit of a kiss, or putting some, my partner and I love putting lo-fi on, with a cute little picture, the music, the jazz in the background.
Oh, I love
While
that.
we're cooking, we go and dance a little bit in the lounge.
That's all part of foreplay. It just gets you like excited. And with women, and a lot of men don't know this, but with women, it all starts, the connection with us starts in our brains. Our brains need to be turned on. Okay?
Absolutely.
So that's where it starts with us. So if you're going to send us some really nice text messages or you know, put on that sultry music and stuff, we're going to be like, oh, and involve all those senses. You know, I always say involve the senses, you know, the eyes, the music, the touch, involve the senses.
And I also feel like make an effort when it comes to date night. So my partner and I love doing date nights at home. We love cooking together. And we'll light a candle, something small like that. It doesn't even have to be expensive. You have a nice stay in, light a candle, cook together, put on lo-fi on, dim the lights. You know what I mean? Just make a nice atmosphere where you feel connected, where you as a woman feels like a woman. You feel loved, you feel cared for, you feel safe.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, is feeling that safe aspect. And, you know, this is what I wanted to just bring forth with this podcast, that let's break the stigma, let's open up, let's talk about sexual wellness and intimacy in an open environment, and get out there and own your life again in the bedroom. Live your best life in the bedroom. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And I also feel that we should bring if you're a single woman or single man, how you can also connect with yourself and, you know, have that confidence.
Exactly. Confidence in the bedroom. I think that should be our next topic.
Yes, that is such a good idea. But this has been so amazing. Thank you, Leanne, for all the amazing insights.
I love it. I love talking about this. Exactly. I hope you have as well. Please do comment and interact with us.
Definitely. And if you would like to ask an anonymous question, or if you would like us to discuss a topic and you don't want to put your name out there, you want to be anonymous, you can definitely send us a private message and we will answer your question on our next podcast. Have an amazing week and we will see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.